talk today about confidence. One of the most important things that you can have in life, period, man. This ain't just about being a musician or a performer or anything, man. The most important thing that you can have is confidence. And I'm not talking false bravado of some buffoon who thinks that they're great and they're really not. But I'm talking about building up the skills that you need to be great and then accepting that you're good. It's always important to stay humble because there will always be somebody better. But you still need to have the confidence that you are the best you out there. I am the best bad Brad out there. That's what it is. And look, man, there's certain things that I do and I'm good at, right? And I have to be willing to accept that. I have to realize, my skill sets, and it's the same thing for you out there. Understand your strengths and weaknesses. If you understand your strengths and weaknesses and work on your weaknesses and not just pat yourself on the back by practicing your strengths all the time, well, that can give you great confidence as well. I'm going to tell you a personal story. So my daughter, she's 4 going on soon to be 5. And they had biography day at the school. And, we, since a very young age, because most of the pop music and stuff on the radio and the harder rock and stuff like that, when she was a little kid, I would put on Sirius XM, the Elvis channel, right? It's 50s rock and roll and some 60s stuff and 70s. And there are melodies and things. There's melodies, actual melodies in the songs. There's actually a few chord changes and different types of music, right? But she grew to love it, and we still to this day will listen to Elvis, and she'll get excited, right? And she finally had to come to the age where I had to explain to her that, he's not around anymore, right? But we would every day listen to Elvis, and when they announced that at her school they would do a biography day, who else did she know more about? That's what it came down to. And I thought, let's do Elvis. Yeah, my daughter is a girl, but she loves Elvis. And she knows a lot about him. She knows his songs. And so it became dead. My wife wanted to do something else, something less known, and something that my daughter didn't really know anything about. But when it came time for, biography day, they lined all the kids up and all the parents were there. And the kids had to come out with their poster and their outfit on and, do their presentation. And man, a large majority of the kids didn't really know much about the people that they were talking about. Some of them were scared. Some of them cried. Some of them, just, it's like a deer in the headlights. Because look, man, it is scary going before your peers, and doing all that. But my daughter walked right in there, confident, with her black leather 68 comeback Elvis special outfit and her Elvis sunglasses and carrying her poster. She knew who she was talking about. She knew what he had done. She said something funny, and because she asked me, I told her Elvis gave away a lot of cars. He was famous for buying people cars. He'd see a poor woman at the car dealership and she'd go, "Ooh, I really like this car." And he says, "You like it?" And he says, "Yeah." And he'd go tell the guy, give that woman the keys, I'm buying. And he says, she said, but he didn't buy Lamborghinis because they didn't have them back then, which may or may not be true. But I think I told her that, like, she's like, did he buy them Lamborghinis? Like, no, they were probably Chevys or Fords or Cadillacs or something like that. But man, the confidence that she walked in that room, she was not scared at all. And then without prompting, she broke into song, and we had gone over the song a few times, you know, at the house. And I said, here, you're going to sing 2 verses. You're going to sing the first verse, a hound dog, and you're going to sing the second verse, and then done. And the idea was that I was going to bring a guitar and do it with her. But when I would play and sing with her, it would drown her out. So I just thought, man, just let her do her presentation just like the other kids. And Dad's not going to bring the guitar to school. When she got up there, she broke into song. The crowd started clapping. And you'll see, because I'll post a little clip at the end. But it became a unique situation, and it became a testimony for confidence. Because here's the deal, man. You know, I don't know if you can learn that type of confidence. I don't know if, you know, here's the thing, man. You know, and it's like I told my wife, there may be other kids in her class who test better than my child. My child would have no problem walking into a room and giving a presentation and selling something or introducing herself or any of those things that are true markers of being able to be successful, right? If you struggle with that, if you're a young guy and you're afraid to go ask somebody for help or go up and introduce yourself, or you're afraid to get on stage or any of that, man, you've got to get over all of that. You got to get over all that stuff, man. And the funny thing is, we asked her, were you nervous? It wasn't even a consideration, which is better than how I was when I was a kid. When I was a kid, and I remember performing for the first time, and I remember feeling those butterflies. But I got up there and did it before the whole school, right? But I also remember going to join my first garage band and just feeling sick to my stomach, man, with nerves. Right? Maybe it was foreshadowing, you know, being in a situation that was going to be ultimately out of my control. But here's the thing, man. Having that confidence, being able to walk into a room and own the room. Now, I'm a person who enjoys solitude and quiet, nice long walks like this all the time. But man, if you put me in a social situation, I can go either way. I will do a lot these days. I will go into a social situation and I will listen. And I will listen to the people in the room and what they're talking about. And I'll make a decision. Do these people really have anything to say? Are they really like going anywhere? Or is it just the same old nonsense that, you know? And here's the thing, man. I would have no problem if you wound me up and said, I want you to go into this room and give a talk or take over the room, be the life of the party, whatever it was. I could easily do that. And I've done it so many times, now I'm over it, right? I don't feel the need. It's like the teacher at the end, my wife said, oh, well, my husband was going to bring his guitar and do it with her. And she said, oh, that would have been cool. And I said, yeah. I said, I'm retired from all that right now. You know, but it would have been a cool moment, but it also would have potentially overshadowed. You know, you put a guitar in my hands, and I had already, when we worked on doing the thing together, I already had a run that I was going to do at the end of the song to, you know, and do all that. But man, the moment was about my daughter. The moment was about her, and she shined because she had confidence and she knew what she was talking about. She was passionate about what she was doing. And there's a key point right there. If you tell a kid, hey, here's what your project's going to be, son, and it's going to be about this, and the kid doesn't really know much about it or have anything to relate about the subject, then the kid's going to get up there and, I don't, this person's a race car driver, and they go, well, what number did they have? And they don't know the number, and they don't know how many races, and there's no direct connection. But when my daughter got up there and had all that listening experience of knowing the songs and seeing movie clips and, you know, the putting together the storyboard, poster board with all of, Elvis facts and stuff on it. And look, think about this. Think about the other thing that I thought about in this. How many pop stars these days, and I'll go ahead and tell you the answer is 0, get drafted into the Army at the height of their career. And instead of taking a cushy, I'll go perform for the military for a couple of years, taking the cushy route, they go ahead and sign up and enlist as a regular Army soldier and go through basic training and all of that just like an average Joe. How many people do that, would even consider doing that now? None that I know of. And so to think that, I mean, you're talking, I think, what was it, 1957 or 58 when this happened? At the peak of his career? Could have been complete devastation when he got back. 2 years in the pop rock world is an eternity. And there could always be some younger, hotter gun that comes along and steals your thunder, and you come out and you just look like an old man. So man, you take somebody who has had that kind of storied career and given to charities, and the Pearl Harbor Monument was built with money raised by Elvis going to Hawaii and performing. And how many people do stuff like that these days? How many people have that experience? And it gave a lot of confidence knowing that here's somebody whose music she really liked and had experience with and could talk about and was a huge star, and she felt cool when she walked in the room with her faux black leather jacket and her faux leather pants and her cool shades. There's another great point right there. Feeling confident about how you look, right? I'm gonna talk about John Mayer right now, because I've seen some recent live clips of John Mayer pop up on my YouTube. Probably because I bought that Silver Sky and it failed on me. But, you know, he's wearing like khaki, like loose stuff, and he's got a flannel shirt with a t-shirt on underneath, and it's all baggy, and it's like, dude, you're still young, you're still out there, you're getting on stage, you know, dressing like somebody in line to buy nachos. Look, he can do whatever he wants. He's a star, right? But when you look good, when you dress like $1 million and you feel confident about yourself, it doesn't matter whether you're playing Bob's Big Boy or Billy Bob's Beer Hut, or you're playing at the Hollywood Bowl. If you look great, you feel great, you go out there and you shine. It's going to give you the confidence, man. It's going to give you that feeling that you can conquer the world. And confidence is the most important. It's the most important thing. If you have a lack of confidence, it's going to be tough to make it, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't care how good you are, man. I'll tell you a little thing. I keep my eye on Nashville. I keep my eye on Nashville and the players that are there, and I see stuff that gets posted in the clubs, and there's a guitar player now there that has got just insane chops, and he wears the guitar up. It's like right under his neck, and he shreds, but he's huge, dude. He's like Sean Lane huge at the end of Sean Lane's career. But he's got amazing chops. Like, this guy must literally just sit at his desk with his guitar strapped on and sweep pick and shred all day and like eat Cheetos or cheeseburgers or something. Like, I'm like, this guy is a freak of nature, but I want to tell him. And if he happens to watch this, I would tell him, look, if I interviewed the guy, I would say the same thing. Dude, first of all, get your health in order. Get yourself together. Focusing only on one thing has left your talent in bounds at the top. But your health is in the toilet, dude. Literally and figuratively. And I don't know what issues this guy has going on. I mean, he might have some serious health issues, but if he doesn't have serious health issues, he's going to have them now. And look, I can't feel he's hiding behind his chops, but probably deep down inside, he's not confident, and he's insecure because he's killing himself with his lifestyle. And regardless of how great this guy is as a player, no one's going to give you the crown, and you're not all of a sudden going to have this amazing life just because you're incredible, because your playing is incredible. Because it comes down to the whole package. And look, man, confidence can be something more than strutting around like a peacock. Now, I don't expect this guy to, become all of a sudden svelte and, to become a bodybuilder or anything like that. But man, just going for a walk each day can make a huge part of, improving your life. And this guy is dangerously out of shape. and his playing is incredible. But I have to go, like, dude, we know where this goes. Like, I'm curious when you think about Sean Lane and you see him in the later years, and I think these people think that all they have to do is have all these amazing chops, and the world just bows at your feet. And yes, they are amazing. Sean Lane is a legend. He's an amazing player, but man, the guy should still be alive today. The guy should still be teaching and doing all these things. And man, when you maybe have something else going on inside, that you have all this ability, but maybe you're focused only on one thing, your playing ability. It's being a well-rounded individual with confidence, good health. And, there does come a point where your chops and your ability to play over people's heads becomes a liability at some point. Ultimately, it's like the more complex the music you play and in your ability, you eliminate a large part of the audience. Now, I've heard also recently in Nashville that people are complaining, the musicians are complaining, because the playlist that the bands are able to play in the clubs down on Broadway is becoming smaller and smaller, to the point where they can't play anything other than the standard stuff that everybody plays, without even the club owners or the managers getting upset. And it seems like the audiences are less and less sophisticated. Now, in my time, I always sought out the semi more sophisticated audiences. I don't want to play for a bunch of yahoos pounding beer. Unless I'm on the road playing for 30,000 people, I would rather play in a 150 seat room and play some cool music and take some chances than to be a jukebox for people drinking beer. And I would rather play for people that can appreciate and hear that, hey, this guy's good. He's not like the guys down on Broadway. So man, I would encourage musicians who maybe can see into the future and know that, hey man, this is going to get old, playing the same 20 to 30 songs each night, and I'm stuck playing these same solos. And you start seeing musicians on stage and the confidence is stripped from them because they become a shell of themselves, playing the same songs night after night the same way. And that's important to realize as well, man. Keep your confidence by finding a niche that you can breathe in. Finding music that you can express yourself in that's an important thing. And if you don't do that, then you could be stuck being the human jukebox and just playing a bunch of songs that people want to hear, but then getting bored out of your mind and losing all your confidence because you're a shell of yourself. You're a shell of what you once were. All of this kind of boils down to confidence. Whether you're the guy with insane chops, but obviously some issues going on, or whether you're the guy that's becoming the human jukebox and you're literally losing your mind and your soul, not being able to really express yourself and take some chances on stage. Walking into a room and owning the room, getting the gig, confidence. Confidence will get you the gig over the chops. And look, here's the other thing. If you're too confident, but the talent's not there, they're going to say, hey man, hey kid, I like your attitude. I like your get up and go. You need to work on your playing too much. So too much confidence too soon, it's still got to come down to talent. It's still got to come down to ability. It's still got to come down to, you're the right guy for the gig. But if you're a great player and you have no confidence in yourself and no self-value, to always look your best, to always do your best, to always, show up with a clean shirt on. And, think about this, man. Showing up looking good for a gig, dude. And I've talked about it before in the past. But man, that goes a long way in helping your confidence, helping the audience. The audience wants to see something, man. Even if you are playing in the beer bars, wear a t-shirt with something funny on it, or just spice it up, dude. Because here's the thing, man. When you show little effort in your appearance, when you show up and half-ass it on how you look, how can you expect to be confident? And it's the same thing with dating. My wife was watching a dating show the other day. We're watching these two guys, and it's like Love is Blind or something like that. It's one of those shows. There's two guys talking to a girl on the other side of the wall at separate times. And one guy's confident and makes the girl feel sure about their relationship, and the other guy's going, oh, but I love you, and I just need you to make me feel. It's like, dude, here's the thing. You don't need her to make you feel anything. You need to make her feel confident in choosing you. And when you fall silent, when she says, well, I need you to tell me why I should pick you, and you're silent, dude, it's no wonder that you failed, because you're lacking in confidence. I was not lacking in confidence when I was texting or called my future wife and she was out with her boyfriend at a Christmas party, and I just said, hey, you know what? Ditch that guy. He's not going anywhere. He's not doing anything. You need to come with me. I just laid it out on the line. Women, they want a man with confidence. So whether it's getting the gig or getting the girl or anything in life, getting the job, whatever, dude, getting the loan from the bank, nobody that can't express themselves, people that can't express themselves, are not going to get those opportunities. They're not going to get those gigs. They're not going to get the girl or the guy or whatever in life, because they ultimately lack the confidence. And that confidence is the thing that's going to get you what you want in life. Develop the skills. Develop what you have going on. Make sure you're ready for situations that come up. Always be prepared. Always look your best. Always do everything you can to be ready for the situation. And most of all, go in with confidence.
Yeah.
And he's the king of rock and roll.
Yeah.
He helps charities. And he lifts up cars and makes up meals at restaurants. And he thank you so
dance or are you good?
And I on the time. And nothing